You are still watching TVRI World. Today we are celebrating our 77th Indonesia's Independence Day, and now is our worldwide 77th Independence Celebrations special report from TVRI World. And in the previous segment, Rahmat, we already talked with ambassadors around the world, and we also hear the greetings, warm greetings for Indonesia Independence Day. And also just now, we heard of these beautiful songs, traditional songs as well, anthems about this Independence Day in Indonesia. So what next do we have in this program?
Well, mentioning what you just said, Stephanie, was that I did not expect that the people singing for the songs were children. So they are our, Indonesian children residing in Doha, Qatar. And which brings us to our next segment. After all the dialogues and conversations with our diplomats, our ambassador, it's time to talk to our fellow Indonesians, our diaspora, located everywhere around the globe. So we'll get to hear their first-hand account of their experience celebrating the 77th Indonesians' independence in their respective country. So let's begin now. But before we head there, we have put together some very nice visual for you to give you some sort of illustrations and pictures of how the spirits of our fellow diaspora is around the globe celebrating the 77th Indonesians' independence. But from your own perspective, being a diaspora at some points in your life, how was that living abroad for a while, for not a month, for 2 months, but probably for an entire year? Try to share with us a little bit, being a diaspora yourself at one specific point of time in your life. Stephanie.
Oh, it was like a very unforgettable moment lived there. So the feeling of missing Indonesia was also there, because also the most particular thing that I miss from Indonesia, of course, the food. I miss sate padang, right? And rendang, of course.
Particularly if you are highly incompatible with the local food.
Correct, yeah. But I also see when I joined some communities for Indonesia students community, also I can see also the spirit of this Indonesian students community also very big, very high. How we actually appreciate Indonesia, and we also were very proud to be Indonesians overseas, Rahmat. So it was a very exciting moment. Lots of things to actually remember now, and actually. Not only me, but you were also lived overseas. So I would like to also hear your story. What's your most interesting story?
Well, I was in Belgium for a while, for an entire year, but two most specific memories in relations to togetherness as fellow Indonesian nationals abroad was the moment of the Independence Day at the embassy, and also the moment of Eid al-Fitr. So those two unforgettable gatherings of Indonesian nationals. And it's just exciting when you're just in these random places and you meet people speaking Indonesians and you're like, orang Indonesia, and you feel like your sense of nationalism just exploded, and you were so happy to meet fellow nationals outside of Indonesia. And talking about that, Stephanie, we've put together a very special video for you, visuals on how our Indonesian diasporas in Canada celebrating Indonesia's 77th Independence Day. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Maha Esa, kemanusiaan yang adil dan beradab, persatuan Indonesia, dan kerakyatan yang dipimpin oleh hikmat kebijaksanaan dalam permusyawaratan perwakilan.
Seiring waktu, negara kita pun semakin berkembang tiap tahunnya. Kita semua beruntung bisa berkumpul pada hari ini karena jasa-jasa pahlawan yang telah membela hari kemerdekaan ini dengan berbagai hal positif dan semangat dan memiliki rasa nasionalisme yang tinggi.
Oh yes, lots of food and fun and games.
We are so excited because it's been a while since the last time we had upacara bendera.
Like 2 years ago.
Yes.
So
that's good. And
then
lomba 17-an, and there are lots of Indonesian foods here. I don't think it really changed our identity as Indonesian. I mean, because we grew up in Indonesia too, so we're pretty much still Indonesian.
What do you think about the Independence Day in Canada?
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
You enjoy it?
Oh, of course, excited.
Kebiasaan-kebiasaan kita ngerayain Agustusan tuh kayaknya makin spesial saat kita di
Luar negeri.
Pretty good.
In the country I used to live in, Independence Day wasn't that a big deal.
Oh, I see.
It is the once a year. Actually, we celebrate, and then when Indonesian gather together, and then we just at the time we think about Indonesia very much deeply.
Well, see, we are away from home, so we try to get together.
Independence Day, so Edmonton Indonesian Community Association celebrate Indonesian Independence Day.
And I miss with the game, with the gathering together.
We are celebrating the Indonesian Independence Day, and it is the 77th year of our independence. We are so happy and excited.
Pick it up, sir. Good job, good job. Good job, good job. Oh, going back, going back, going back.
Jadi 20 dapatnya 24.
Oh, Rahmat, that traditional cuisine makes me starving again.
Oh, man. And to see that being appreciated
yes.
Somewhere so far away from Indonesia
yes.
is really gratifying. Like, I can't believe that people in Edmonton in Canada celebrating Indonesian Independence Day by, you know, also celebrating our distinctive cuisine and menu. So that's something to marvel at. And just to add more to that already beautiful visuals, and we are also informed that Canadians are some of the most loveliest and kindest people on earth. Let's just try and confirm that by talking to our diaspora there, Indonesian citizens. Yeah,
Debbie Tirayo.
Yeah, Debbie Tirayo. Debbie joining us all the way from Edmonton, Canada. Debbie, a very good day to you. Hello, Debbie.
Hi.
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 It's
Greetings from Canada.
Greetings from Jakarta, Indonesia. It's Rahmat and Stephanie here. Debbie, please let us know what time is it now in Edmonton, Canada?
It's actually already past midnight. It's 12:32 a.m. in the morning. So.
Oh man, thank you
for taking this opportunity
thank you so much for
us.
staying up late after midnight, talking to us, celebrating 77th Indonesian Independence Day. You look lovely, by the way.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're wearing batik, is it? Yeah.
That is Indonesian batik.
batik.
Yes, yes, I love batik.
Very lovely.
All right, Debbie, just now we saw some videos, some pictures of how enthusiastic our Indonesian diaspora in Canada are, or rather were, celebrating our Independence Day. Can you give us your first-hand account and illustration of, the situation and the celebration yourself?
Yes, independence celebration in Canada, especially in my town, Edmonton. It's something that we look forward every year. And we're lucky that we have an organization like an Indonesian Association working together with the Student Association in our city, from the University of Alberta and the other university in our city. So they're the one who actually organized this this year independence celebration. As you say, they did a good job. So we let all the young people to organize this. And also this is the time when we can get together. It's been 2 years. As we all know, that because of the pandemic, we cannot get together. So everybody was so excited when we decided to celebrate the Independence Day this year. Yeah, that's when we get together. We can buy Indonesian food and delicacy, as you say, as you see from the video. Yeah, and also we have some vendors who bring like Indonesian kerupuk or chips and like drinks and bumbu-bumbu. So yeah.
What's your most favorite cuisine of Indonesia that you miss so much there? And was it also served there during these independence celebrations in Canada?
Yeah, actually, I love satay. Anything grill, I like fish, grilled fish, and grilled meat, I like. So my most favorite is satay. So I was so happy when one of our Indonesian people decided to sell satay. So yeah, that was the favorite one for me. Yeah, that's the highlight.
All right. Debbie, can you give us a picture of how close are our Indonesian diasporas to each other, particularly in Edmonton, where you are living at the moment? Because we know that it is always such a gratifying experience to be together of similar citizenships. And you also mentioned that there are a couple of organizations and associations. So how close are you guys together in terms of getting together probably more than several times a year, besides only for the Independence Day?
Yes, of course. So we were lucky to have, like I said, we were lucky to have the association. And it's not just an organization that I feel, it's like a family. When I first came to this town, I don't know anybody. So I just searched like an Indonesian association and I found them and they just welcomed me. And I feel like whenever people have a problem, for example, for the workers who have problem with their visa or problem to have some information about how to stay here, this association can help them, especially for students who live far away from their family and parents. When they get sick, usually they don't really have someone to take care of them. So this association just jump in, taking care of them, especially during the pandemic. We send food, people are cooking. And when we have death in the family, when they can go home, this association get together and then we do fundraising to contribute money. And then also we do fundraising for anything that happened in Indonesia. So we feel like for having this diaspora or having all these Indonesian people around us, we feel like we're not far away from our family. We feel like we still can have that, like togetherness with the Indonesian people. We can talk in Indonesia.
Yeah.
We can share information about Indonesia. So yeah, I think the diaspora is very important for our existence here in Indonesia, in Canada.
That's the very definition of we are stronger together. united.
Yeah,
Yes.
indeed.
Yes.
So Debbie, we would like to know how long have you been living there? And because we also know that you are a vlogger, and how do you actually, as also diaspora there, exchange or introducing about Indonesian culture to like
Canadians,
to
yeah.
Canadians? Yes.
Yes. So I came to Canada actually in 2011. First in Vancouver, then I moved to Edmonton, and I found out in Edmonton we have what they call a heritage festival, which happen once a year, where all the nations, all the culture get together, and then the Indonesian people decided that, oh, of course, we have to show our culture too. So we sell food, we do the dancing, and when people start asking like about the tourism, and then we have support from the consulate general with all the information like the brochures, all the maps, and we introduce them about the music and everything. So yeah, my experience here in Edmonton, actually, we really have a strong, very strong Indonesian culture,
Yeah.
you can say, because of that. Yeah.
Right. So you've been there for a little over 11 years in Canada, Debbie,
Yes.
and we are aware that you are also a vlogger or video blogger. Can you tell us what sort of missions do you want to push through, you want to bring forward with all the videos that you publish?
Okay, so actually the reason why I decided to have a channel is because I want to help people to understand more about Canada, because I found out that some of Indonesian people, they don't really know about Canada, quite surprisingly, because they think, oh, Canada is just a state, one of the state of America. So I said to myself, I think I need to explain more about Canada, especially about my town, because people, when they say Canada, they know about Toronto, they know about Vancouver, they don't really know about my city.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I said, no, I have to promote. I have to promote my city. I have to promote Canada, and I have people start asking questions like, how can we study in Canada? How can we migrate maybe, or find a job? So that's actually my main goal, to help people in Indonesia to know more about Canada, especially about Edmonton.
All right. So if ever anyone, including me, plan to visit Canada, particularly Edmonton, you are the one to go to consult, I believe.
Yes,
you're the expert.
With all the information, like where to go for food,
Oh, man.
places to see. Don't worry, I can help you.
All right. Well, this has been lovely talking to you, Debbie Terayo. Thank you so much for sharing with us such wonderful, heartwarming stories all the way from Edmonton, Canada. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Merdeka from Jakarta.
Merdeka, yeah.
All right. That's another spirit there from
yeah.
our Canadian diaspora. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Yeah, it was also enlightening, because also it's just a story actually about the connections between Canadian and also with Indonesian people there, right?
Yeah.
And also to open doors to Indonesia, to know more about Canada, and also about Canadians also to know about Indonesian. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like exchange knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Stories, yeah.
Right. And you also asked me a little bit about my experience staying for a while in Belgium. And now we have a very special video presentation that we put together from our diaspora residing now in Belgium. Before talking to him, let's play out this very nice videos that is prepared to give us an illustration of how it is the Indonesian Independence Day celebrated in Belgium. Take a look.
We have arrived In the city center, bicycles are often faster than cars, so it's worth to rent a bike.
Hai teman-teman, we are currently in Brussels, which is the capital of Belgium and the heart of Europe. As you can see, today's weather is hotter than usual. It's around 31 degrees in here. So we have currently the heat wave in Belgium.
As summer comes, we see more activities like volleyball competitions for women and men and cycling for kids. We are here today to celebrate Indonesia's 77th Independence Day. We will march 25 meters long of the Indonesian flag. This parade is one of the activities to promote Indonesia to the international with a mission of peace.
Merupakan sangkakan merah putih sepanjang lebih dari 25 meter di Eropa. Bravo! Kita sempat berbangga kepada semuanya. Jadi saya ucapkan terima kasih lagi sebesar-besar.
Kita tentang setia mempertahankan Indonesia. Kita tentang setia membela negara kita. Indonesia Raya merdeka, merdeka, tanahku, negeriku yang ku cinta. Indonesia Raya merdeka, merdeka, hiduplah Indonesia Raya.
Merdeka!
Merdeka!
After singing together the Indonesian national anthem, the dancers performed the Balinese Cendrawasih dance. This beautiful dance makes more and more tourists come to see it.
Dirgahayu Republik Indonesia, 77 tahun Indonesia merdeka, pulih lebih cepat, bangkit lebih kuat.
After the parade, we continue with the flower carpet in Brussels. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you like it. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Merdeka!
Such a lovely, vibrant activities we've seen there in Belgium.
Yeah.
That makes you, brings back the memory of you when you live there.
Well,
Rahmat.
if that video doesn't want to make you go to Brussels and to Belgium overall, I don't know what will. That's very, very beautifully done. Thank you very much, our colleague, our diaspora there in Belgium, for putting together all those beautiful visuals for us for this special program.
So now we have our diaspora there in Belgium, Lucky Mavis, who is now connected with us via Zoom. Hello, good morning there.
Hello, good morning from Belgium. How are you?
Good morning from Jakarta.
Good morning, Lucky. We are Rahmat and Stephanie from Jakarta. First of all, allow me to confirm with you, are you in Brussels, in Antwerp, or in somewhere in Wallonie or in Ghent? Where are you exactly from at the moment?
I live in Dendermonde in Flanders area, which is the area speaking Dutch here. And I'm working in Brussels.
Oh, all right. So, spreekt u Nederlands dan?
Ja, ik spreek een beetje Nederlands.
Ja, ik was in België voor een jaar en dus we're gonna be lost in translation here.
Gonna be lost in translation
So
indeed.
happy to meet you finally, Lucky Mavis. Thank you very much for taking your time to join us for the special program. We are infusing the spirit of Indonesia's independence. 77 years, Lucky. Can you share with us how is it celebrated in Belgium?
Yes, as you see from the video, that the people here, especially we, the Indonesians here, is very exciting to celebrate the 77th Indonesia's Independence Day. That's why that from the organizations, they have the idea to have the parade of the Indonesian flag for 25 meters long. So it's very long, and they make their own flag, sewing themselves. And then when we're looking at the reactions from the local people here, they are very enthusiastic to know about the Indonesia. And some, as you see, that some of the people coming, joining to see, and also they took some video about that. So it's very, very exciting to promote Indonesia to the international, especially in Europe.
All right.
So you're working there, Lucky. So we believe that you've been living there in Belgium quite a few years, right? So from what you have experienced there in Belgium, what do you see the most special celebrations this year compared to the previous years after Indonesian Independence Day?
Yes, I'm already 5 years live in Belgium, and the difference with the other 2 years, as you know, that we have the pandemic. For sure, we don't have the bazaar, we don't have the ceremony like we have now, because it's very limited participations at the time to limited of Corona and etc. So this year is back. That's why everybody is exciting. As you see that in Brussels, they have the flower carpet, etc. It's to build up again, and the people can participate back after 2 years.
Right. And we are currently looking at just now the pictures of that parade with traditional clothing from Indonesia and the long red and white flag downtown. Was that in Brussels? And how did the local people react to our showcase of culture?
Yes, that the flag is very long. It's about 25 meters.
Oh, man.
And it's very attracting the people to see. Yes.
What was the idea behind this?
Sorry, please come again.
What was the idea behind this parade? Can you tell us more about that, Lucky?
Yeah. The idea is to promote Indonesia to the international, especially because now it's in summertime in Belgium, which is we have a lot of tourists, a lot of people come out, the local people as well. So it's to promote Indonesia more and more, because people knowing more and they get to know Indonesia, and who knows that, okay, next holiday we will come to Indonesia. I saw a lot of idea even around my colleague. So it's very good idea to promote that. And we walk in the center of Brussels, which is where all the people there hang around. So which is a very good idea to promote Indonesia there.
Yeah. As soon as you showed us that video where you are pointing at the distinctive cartoon from Belgium, the Tintin, it was like a whole batch of great memories just rushed in. and also,
yes, indeed.
when you mentioned the part that we would like to introduce more of Indonesian culture to the world, particularly as Belgium plays an integral part, being the headquarters of European Union, the heart of Europe, as you mentioned, so we can target more nationals because a lot of other nationalities visit Brussels and Belgium in particular. Do you think it is a perfect momentum, the Independence Day, to sort of further push the agenda of Indonesia as a great country of culture and tourism destinations for them to come to visit?
Yes, you are right. Actually, Belgium is also a lot of diversity here, as you know. So many nations also come in here, especially in the holiday time. So this is a very great time. That's why we held this parade in this period. So then, yeah, as you see that we also promote some people using kebaya and then singing Indonesian anthem song. So you see it's many people there. So it's very, very good timing now to promote Indonesia.
Yeah.
How do you actually, since you are live there, so how later maybe Rahmat also can share some stories when he used to live there in Belgium. So with you, how difficult it is when you introduce the culture of Indonesia, and how excited are the Belgian people there to listen and to know more about our culture?
Especially for myself, that let's say I'm working where I'm the only one Indonesian there. And then my colleague is always exciting when seeing me, especially when I'm using batik. And they said, wow, you are from Indonesia. And we've been there, we go on holiday there, and we would like to visit more. So we are here in, let's say like me, I'm in Belgium as one of also a representative in Indonesia indirectly. So that's why it's people very exciting to see, and I always get positive feedback about Indonesia. And for sure, they love Bali.
Yeah, I hope you haven't met anyone in Belgium who just told you that I've been to Bali, but I've never been to Indonesia. That's how famous Bali is.
That's why we would like to promote more, right?
Exactly. That is such a noble mission. Just another question to you, my final question to you, Luki, is that this is the 77th Indonesia's Independence Day. We know that, as you mentioned, this is the only time when we can get together after 2.5 long years of excruciating pandemic. So how do you think this moment will bring forward Indonesians, nationals in Belgium closer together, and in particular with the efforts from the embassy?
Yes, actually embassy is very active in gathering all the Indonesians in here. They have a lot of activities as well, not only by this time, but you can see they have also YouTube in the embassy. They have also competitions like in the embassy, bazaar, and we also have kind of activities where the Indonesians come together or some special occasions. So it's a lot of things that the gathering the Indonesians together.
All right. So, Luki, having resided 5 years in Belgium, are you going to switch citizenship, or at least dual citizenships?
No, I don't have any plan.
So you are still a pure
yeah.
and a good-hearted Indonesian residing in Belgium. We are so happy to hear that.
Yes, I'm still holding until Indonesian passport.
Indonesian
So
passport.
I don't have any plan to change it.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Luki Mavis. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the great
thank you for
stories.
having me today.
It is our pleasure indeed. Stay safe there in Belgium. We hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, stay safe there. Bye.
Bye. So next,
yeah, not enough to just express what I'm feeling at the moment, but let's just move on because life goes on, as we said. But we'll be back to Belgium someday. Where are we flying to off next,
now
Stephanie?
from Belgium, we are flying to New Zealand,
okay.
where we will see what are they doing there for Indonesia's Independence Day celebrations there. I believe that it is even interesting activities held there.
And there's a lot of similar cultures from what we see in Australia, and New Zealand is famous for its exquisite landscape and just beautiful nature. Hopefully we can see some of that in this next visual. So let's take a look at how our Indonesian diaspora in New Zealand celebrating our Independence Day.
Nah, adik-adik sayang, senang sekali nih Kak Devi hari ini merayakan Hari Kemerdekaan Republik Indonesia bersama dengan teman-teman ataupun adik-adik yang kecil ini yang disebut Little Kiwis ya. Kalian sudah belajar banyak apa sih, mengapa sih mereka disebutnya Kiwi juga, dan juga orang-orang dari Selandia Baru mengapa mereka menyebutkan dirinya adalah orang Kiwi. Selain itu, Arena 123 juga merasa bangga sekali karena merasakan keceriaan dan antusias dari adik-adik kecil ini untuk merayakan Hari Kemerdekaan bersama dengan Arena 123. Bendera merah putih misalnya, mereka sudah mengenal dan juga mewarnai ruru dengan imajinasi ataupun warna-warna yang mereka suka. Belum lagi mencicipi masakan khas dari Indonesia. Dari nasi kuning, sate ayam, sampai dengan kerupuk. Kemudian mereka juga mendengarkan cerita sambil menghitung dompet batik. Belajar lagi ya tentang batik. Adalah salah satu budaya Indonesia yang sangat kita banggakan. Setelah itu, kita juga memperkenalkan salah satu alat musik tradisional Indonesia yang bernama angklung. Dan mereka juga mencoba untuk memainkannya. Dan akhir daripada acara ini, mereka menari bersama-sama dengan Arena 123 dan Ruru juga ikut menari. Kak Devi lihat ya. Dan kita memperkenalkan pakaian tradisional Indonesia pada mereka. Wah, rasanya senang sekali. Meskipun Indonesia jauh di mata, tetapi Kak Devi merasa dekat sekali di hati. Nah, adik-adik sayang, ini adalah satu gambar mengenai indahnya persahabatan. Sampai berjumpa untuk minggu depan ya. Jangan kemana-mana. Saksikan terus acara Arena 123. Cintailah Indonesia dan kenalilah dunia. Dadah, ayo Ruru. Dadah juga dong. Dah.
Dadah.
That's so cute.
It's so cute.
That's so
Lovely
cute.
children. So, Rahmat, New Zealand is the place that I've always wanted to go to.
Right. You know what they said? Plan it and make it happen.
We can see it's very beautiful to see those smiles on the kids. Yeah, them wearing kebaya, batik.
Exactly. I was going to say, one of the boys was wearing the Javanese blankon.
So cute.
How amazing is that? So I cannot wait to delve deeper into the video by talking to our diaspora residing in New Zealand. We have Devi Monica joining us through Zoom application all the way from New Zealand. Hello, Devi. How are you? Thank you very much for joining us in this special program. Hello, Devi, can you hear us? All right. Apparently, Devi, we are having difficulty hearing you. Can you please once again check your maybe microphone? Is it turned on? If you can hear me?
Okay.
Let's have now we can hear you. Hello, once again, Devi. Now we can hear you.
Kiora.
Oh, Kiola. What does it mean?
Kiora.
Kiora is a Maori language, which means hello. How are you?
Oh, it's like konnichiwa or aloha. Well, thank you very much. Well, Devi, Monica, we are Rahmat, Idris and Stephanie here in studio in Jakarta. We are really thankful to have you for our special program because I remember distinctly for the first ever inaugural broadcast of our news program, Focus Today, just last year, a little over a year ago, you contributed your news program from New Zealand, describing to us the normalcy of the pandemic in New Zealand. So I remember you from that time. So thank you very much for joining us again today. All right.
It's very good to be here again.
All right, Devi, this is such a momentous event, an auspicious celebration of the 77th Indonesian Independence Day. Could you please share with us how is this moment celebrated by our Indonesian diaspora in New Zealand? And are you actually in Wellington or somewhere else?
Auckland, the biggest city in New Zealand. I'm staying in Auckland, and as you know, the capital city is in Wellington. Auckland is actually the most populated city as well here in New Zealand. But when you're talking about how crowded it is, you know, it's not as crowded as Indonesia, of course. We have more ships than people, which is very is quiet, but also lovely place, lovely city, and also the people.
All right, so we have to put Auckland as well as Wellington in our bucket list to visit someday soon in New Zealand, and hopefully to see you in person.
Definitely.
So in Auckland,
Definitely.
as the biggest city in New Zealand, Devi, do we have our consulate general there, or how is Indonesia represented by an institutions in that city?
Before, I think they have it, right? But right now, everything has to go to Wellington. Even, recently, I just have to extend my passport. Then, we have to go to Wellington. We have to travel to Wellington. Some people found is not too easy, because, it's not you just go there for one day. At least you have to book for the airline ticket, hotels and everything. So, but anyways, right now everything it goes to the Indonesian embassy, especially for the renewal of the passport and
other diplomatic
to get all
business.
Right. To get all the documents, Indonesian documents,
Okay.
Yeah.
But well, talking about the what we celebrated, for the Indonesia's Independence Day here. Because I'm a preschool teacher, so it's quite cute. We celebrated with the children, introducing the Indonesian food as well, and they love satay. Satay, chicken satay. It was like they always have chicken bamboo stick, please.
On a skewer.
And even kerupuk. Kerupuk, they love it. They just love it. That's one of the things that I think I have a very good opportunity here in New Zealand, that I can always bring Indonesia in me, because I'm a teacher, not only the children, because the parents also,
sometimes
came to
need
me
some education.
Because the children, they were telling the parents like, "Oh, I have this kind of food, is a yellow coconut rice and stuff like that," and they like, "Oh my goodness," so they ask more about Indonesia. So it makes me very proud. Makes me very proud to be Indonesia. Makes me also. Another thing is we had. It was 2 days ago. We the Indonesian ladies here in Auckland. We were wearing kebaya, so we supporting the program. Kebaya goes to UNESCO. It was really lovely, because it was actually a spontaneous gathering. I might have to say the name, Mbak Lisha Muardi. It was also Mbak Yanti Nayoan, and then Mbak Anggraini Utomo. They were like just talking, like, why don't we just wear kebaya? Over here is still winter, it's like so cold. So, they were talking about it, but they were thinking about the weather and everything. But the spirit of wearing kebaya, it's so much, because when we got together, it was, I think, 20, more than 30 ladies, went to Vineyard Quarter. It's in the viaduct at that time. And the weather, guess what? The weather was so cold.
Oh no.
So I was just wearing my jacket, and then it was raining and everything. I was like, oh my goodness,
And we know how transparent kebaya is, so that the temperature must just be piercing through the skin.
I know, we were like, oh no, what are we going to do? But you know what? 10 minutes after that, the weather was like so good. It
Oh,
was
lovely.
sunny, and yeah, no, it's like if you go on show, it was like the sun was the lighting.
Yes.
So all of a sudden it stopped.
It was a
for 2
blessed day.
hours.
Yeah.
It was a blessed day for
Yes.
Indonesian showcase of
Yeah, you
kebaya
can see
and
those
jari,
pictures,
I
yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
The motivation is even
Yeah.
Yes.
the motivations of wearing
Yes.
kebaya is even bigger than the weather, than the temperature. We actually would like
Yes,
to know, Devi, so besides of these
Yes.
independence celebrations of Indonesia Independence Day, we would also like to know if there are also many Indonesian communities or activities that involve Indonesians there in New Zealand.
Okay, the one that I know in Auckland, we have quite a numbers of groups. You know, they are sometimes they performed Balinese dance and many other things. What I remember before the pandemic, I think they were doing like the fashion show. By that time, I wasn't here, but I saw like, you know, it was very good, you know. They have all these Indonesian ladies wearing kebaya or songket, or, you know, many other traditional things that were performed at that time. So it was, we always, you know, have this spirit, you know, when it comes to Indonesia, and we want to introduce more. We want people to ask us more, you know, about Indonesia, and that's it. I always think, you know, when the minute you leave the country, you actually present. You actually be the representative of your country.
All right.
Because sometimes people might not remember your name, but they will go like, oh, that's Indonesian lady that we met at the train was saying blah, blah, blah. So I always think like, you know, then we just have to be Indonesia.
There's only one word to describe what you do, Devi, Monica, and that is inspiring. You have our deepest gratitude and our thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all of this vigorous efforts to introduce, to disseminate, and to let the worldwide community know just how beautiful our culture is. So you have our eternal gratitude. Thank you very much, Devi, Monica, joining us all the way from Auckland, New Zealand. Hope to see you soon in the city.
Hope to see you guys soon, okay?
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Selamat Hari Merdeka.
Okay. Bye-bye. Merdeka.
Wow, that is one inspiring figure that a lot of us as Indonesians should be proud of, and in particular, let it become an inspiration for us to also become one of the other Devis, to be proud of our culture, particularly amidst all of this modernity and globalization.
Exactly. Start from small things, and then you will inspire many lives also, right? Like what Devi did as well. So now what do we have next?
All right, let's go ahead to Japan. We'll take a look at the compilation of videos of our diasporas in the city, just giving us an illustration of how the local Indonesians in Tokyo and other big cities in Japan celebrating the 77th Indonesian Independence Day in such festivity. Take a look.
Indonesia kita tetap setia, belum ada, kita tetap setia, membelakan Indonesia kita tetap setia, belum ada, kita tetap setia, membelakan Indonesia kita tetap setia, belum ada, kita tetap setia, tetap belum ada, kita tetap setia, tetap setia membelakan Indonesia, kita tetap setia, tetap.
All right, our fellow diasporas in Japan giving us inspiration. So
Yes,
it
nice,
turns
very
out
nice.
makan kerupuk or eating the crackers is happening. It's actually a fever across the globe for the 17th of August each year.
Rahmat, you've been to Japan, right? So it must be a
Right.
very exciting time when you were there.
I was in Tokyo for a month, but more
nice.
like for the technological aspect of Tokyo at Akihabara, and also visiting the NHK World, just to give some sense of how the broadcasting technology is currently in Japan. And that is a mind-blowing other steps of technological advancement. And now let's talk to our diaspora residing in Japan. Who do we have there?
We have
Stephanie?
Deva Shan from Japan.
Right.
Hello.
So Defa Shan here is from PPI Japan or PPI Japan, joining us in a beautiful batik clothing. Hello, Defa. Good
Hello,
afternoon from
Good
Jakarta.
afternoon from Japan. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. I was going to say, what was that? How do you say thank you again in Japanese? Arigato gozaimasu for your time here.
That's the only word that I know.
Yeah, so Defa, please let us know. We've seen the video, the short video of the makan kerupuk and all the glorious celebrations and festivities in Japan. But from your own experience, how do you see our Indonesians celebrating the Independence Day in Japan?
Okay, well, so actually this morning I had just got invitation to attend the morning ceremony to celebrate the Independence Day of Indonesia from the Embassy of Indonesia in Tokyo, and we celebrate it right in the Tokyo Indonesian School. After we performed the ceremony, then we had some cultural performance from the Indonesian school by the students of the Indonesian school, and then we had some courtesy by the embassy. We met with other staff from the ambassador. Meanwhile, of course, like some of our friends, especially those who are apart from Tokyo, the capital city, that are far from where usually embassy had activity, they had done several activity as shown in the video before. We had like eating kerupuks or like some area that I saw that the video that was shown before, that was from our friends, our students that were studying in Tottori Prefecture, so it's a little bit far from Tokyo. Also, there are the friends that had a celebration doing the same things like a balap karung, also eating the kerupuk, also in the Hiroshima Prefecture. So of course, like because today is not a holiday, so not all of Indonesian people can enjoy today. So some of them usually will done the celebration by having some competition this week, or like in this video that was done last week.
Right. So you are now residing in Nagoya, and you are also telling a story about how it's celebrated, the Indonesia Independence Day celebrated in other countries, in other regions there in Japan. So we would like to know the excitement of Indonesian, particularly among students there in Japan.
Yeah, since you are also the chairman of the Indonesian Students Associations, you let us in on the vibrant dynamics of our associations. What do you guys do for the Independence Day?
Okay, so some of us, for example, in my city in Nagoya, they will today, I think tonight they will perform badminton competition, and from other prefecture, this week they also will have the same competition. Also, there are other students, our branch in Hiroshima that was I said before. Actually, they also will try to replicate how the proclamation of independence of Indonesia, they try to make a mock-up video like that, and then they will try to upload it. So depending on each prefecture, and then with how many students there, some of them will just having competition. Some of them even more. They try to step up, like making a video, choreography, and show it to mainly the Japanese people to know how the struggle of Indonesian people to achieve the independence of their country.
Right. And Japanese was also a part of our history towards independence. From your interaction with the local Japanese, what sort of sense of appreciations and knowledge do you get from the Japanese in relation to the Indonesian independence and history, which brings us to how you can perceive the closeness between the two nations and in particular their citizens?
Actually, this is a very unique thing in Japan because this is like actually from how the Japanese people see Indonesia independence. It's like because until now the Japanese people, especially the people who was born during the independence era, so around 1940s, they still see us like lost old brothers. They still see us like old brothers, so they still believe that actually like the independence of Indonesia, of course, is not only like there is a help from Japan to achieve the independence. So I had just like, of course, several talks to especially like the old people or veterans that how to say like experience or at least get told from their grandparents or their parents about how they see Indonesia independence. So something like that. So they still see us like we are helping you something.
Right.
So this connection is still deeply rooted among Japanese there as well. So we also would like to hear more about you since you are also the chairman of PPI Japan. If you have any special message for not only students in Japan, but also for Indonesians there.
Okay, so my message is that like Happy Independence Day, the 77th Independence Day of Indonesia, and then as the tagline that we should stronger together, and then we believe that we as an Indonesian students who are now studying in other world, we should also still remember our roots. Although we are far from our country, we still do remember that Indonesia is our homeland. And then we need to celebrate too, and then to understand how the struggles of our veteran, other people, and other people who have helped our independence. And also by studying, we also believe we can later help Indonesia for the future generation, especially as we know that in 2045 we will also celebrate the 100th independence of the Indonesia, which also maybe we have heard before that in 2045, like our generation or the Z generation and Alpha generation, they will become those that become the majority during the 100 year. So during this time, we should build our capacity to support the further Indonesia achievement in the future.
All right, Dafa, you are on behalf of the younger generations, the millennials of Indonesia who are currently studying abroad and bringing the name of our country in Japan. For you and your fellow younger generations and students in Japan, what does the 77th Indonesia's Independence Day mean to you?
Well, for us, at least in here, usually like because today is a special day for us because we celebrate Independence Day, and then maybe it's the time where we can gather by competition, because the other day usually we have, for example, like experiment in the laboratory or doing some field works where we cannot bond
busy with
together.
your studies.
So, but using the Independence Day, we create an event where not only the students, but we also attract other diaspora, like the workers or other Indonesian people who have other jobs in here, like together, and then we make a stronger bond in here.
All right. Dafa, just one last question. Now that you are studying in Japan, at the end, should the opportunity present itself, will you be returning home or will you be continuing work in Japan?
This is a very good question.
It is a tricky
and also
question.
At the same time, it's a hard question. Yes. So actually, it actually depends on the condition because, for example, for me, actually my subject of research is kind of developable in Indonesia because many companies have developed my research there. However, maybe there are several, maybe like the hindrance is that maybe like lack of the equipments to do the proper experiment that can be done in here. So for me, I think I can go home too if the equipment is enough. But then it doesn't mean that if we stay in other country and then doing our things in this country doesn't mean that we don't love Indonesia or we are like traitor. I think we have had several times I heard that we are becoming a traitor if we don't come back. But actually, I think it's wrong because like in the end, our research, I will try to focus our research for the better of Indonesia.
All right. So Dafa, whatever your decision will be, let's just say it, ultimately we are all so proud of you, our fellow diaspora and Indonesian students in Japan. Thank you very much for talking to us and sharing such great stories from Nagoya, Japan for the special program on TVRI World. Thank you, Dafa.
Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
So no matter actually where you are, where you live, you still can contribute, right, for the best of our country as well.
Yeah, and that was a very diplomatic answer of him. He should be a diplomat instead of a researcher or a scientist. Thank you very much, Dafa. So we are heading back to your favorite country.
Oh, we'll come back to Australia, where we will have a look more interesting activities in Australia because we have seen activities in Brisbane, in Melbourne. So now let's have
Canberra,
a look.
rather.
Canberra as well.
Canberra
Don't forget about
Melbourne,
that.
Rather.
Yes.
And now, from the perspective of our diaspora instead of the diplomats, let's have a look at this next video.
Come on, Lucky. Come on, Lucky. You did it. Come on, Ella. Go, Ella. Go, Emil. Go, Anto.
Any food.
Oh, really?
Because
Wow.
German or
Yeah.
all of them can eat Asian food.
Besar aja, lahirnya di Bojonegoro ya.
Oh, Bojonegoro.
Cepu.
Makan apa, Len? Nasi bungkus gudeg. Kasih lihat ada apa aja dalamnya. Nikmat banget. Ada telur, ada gudeg, ada nangka. Nangka, telur, krecek, kacang tolo, tahu, nasi. Nikmat banget. Kita serasa di Indonesia ya, di Jogja. Nah, ini ada orang se-Jogja sejatinya. Halo. Beneran rasa Jogja nggak nasi bungkusnya?
Enak
banget kan? Ayo, ayo tes. Gimana? Ini kerupuk. Oh ya. Ya, kerupuk Indonesia banget nasinya tuh saking enaknya langsung habis. Udah habis. Bagaimana? Enak?
Oh, enak
banget.
Can I wish I didn't eat this before because I didn't came. Is this like they call it gudeg? What is this? Can you say gudeg?
That's
not gudeg.
That's beef skin.
Not gudeg. Gudeg.
Try it.
Feels like home.
Oh, that's good.
From Jogja kan? Ya, yang jackfruit.
Yeah, young jackfruit stew.
Aku bilang gudeg.
Careful. Wow, Emil! Second, third, fourth. Well done. Oh, Baba. Thank you so much.
Yan
nanti tangannya kotor saya.
Pindah-pindah sih, aku kadang jetis, kadang di monjol.
Gudang? No, gudang. Gudang. Dia bilang gudang lagi. Budak, kamu budak. Sure, sweetheart.
Indonesian. Just a clean.
What's up?
What's up?
Wow, such a great celebrations there. I was wondering, where did they get, you know, like gudeg?
If you wonder, I wonder too. So let's get the fact immediately by talking to our diaspora there. So who do we have?
Lena Tupan Kuli from Brisbane, now connected with us. Hello, Lena Tupan.
Hi, Lena. Very good to see you. Salam kemerdekaan. Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. We were wondering, how did you get gudeg and every traditional cuisine there?
All right, Lena, we still can't hear you yet. Can you turn on your microphone maybe? I believe it's still turned off. Can you check your microphone, please? Hello? Lena, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, Lena, please turn on your microphone. Hello, Lena.
Oh.
Yeah, turn on your microphone, please. There you go. Now we can hear you.
Yes,
hello
we can
again.
hear you.
Sorry. Very nice to see you, and thank you for that video. Please again explain to us how in the world did you get the gudeg in Brisbane?
Yeah. So it's one of our friends, my friend Indar Poitan, because she's a very good cook, and we sort of just chip in. We can all of my friends, we all chip in to give to collect some money, and then my friend, because she is a very good cook, but it was so short notice, but she was still willing to do it.
Oh man.
So she's a really good cook, and she cooks everything from scratch, and because the taste is very, very authentic when she makes it, and so she was able to help us shop and help us cook everything, and and we all just came together and chip in for the whole thing. So it was really good.
So we suppose that Indonesian ingredients and the raw materials to make gudeg and probably other culinary servings too are easy to find in Brisbane.
You know what? If you know the right places, like the market, like in big chain, grocery stores, you might not be able to find a lot of the like really, really fresh, fresh galangal or fresh young jackfruit. But if you go to like the Asian markets, like like traditional markets here, you might still be able to. We're very lucky here in Brisbane that it is still available.
Will that make you miss Indonesia even more?
All right, so Lena, we're aware that you are a foodie, meaning that you have a plethora of knowledge on food, and also a fashion influencer, meaning I can get some help on that department as well. So tell us, what's your mission as an Indonesian, in particular in the spirits of the 77th Independence Day celebration?
Well, I guess it's just to introduce like real authentic Indonesian food, and to
I don't know, to tell the Australian community that Indonesia is not only it's not only Bali, or the food is not only rendang. Rendang.
That's right.
It's pronounced
Yeah.
rendang. So we have lots and lots of other, culinary richness from all over Indonesia. We have 17,000 islands, and with
Exactly.
I suppose millions of different dishes from all of these different areas of Indonesia. So it's not just nasi padang. It's not just just the popular things, but a lot of the unique, other unique dishes as well.
Yeah, hundreds of ethnics, hundreds of languages, meaning that a plethora of choices in culinary. So, Lena, would like to get your insights on, we've heard stories from our diplomats in Canberra and Melbourne, but from your own perspective, how is the 77th Indonesia's independence celebrated by our fellow diaspora, Indonesian diaspora in Brisbane?
It was just so heartwarming, because it's a little bit tricky, because here, the 7th of August is a Wednesday. It's a work day, a weekday. It's not on the weekend. A lot of people are working, studying, so we couldn't really have anything on the day. So we had an earlier celebration. It was over the weekend. And we were a little bit worried that it's not going to happen, because the weather wasn't very friendly.
Oh.
It was a little bit
cold or rainy?
overcast, and it forecasted to rain.
Oh, okay.
So people are scared to come. But you know what? As it turns out, I came, and a lot of people still came, and we're still so enthusiastic about doing all the traditional games that we had. We had lomba kerupuk, lomba makan kerupuk, lomba balap karung, and the one that I still can remember from doing it when I was a little girl, the little marble race, lomba kelereng. We also had that. And I was really surprised that even though it was raining, it was cold, because in Brisbane here in Australia it's winter. So it's cold, it's raining a little bit, but people still came, and we still really had fun, and we really enjoyed, and it was a lot of fun. It was such a good day.
And in particular, seeing you eating the gudeg in Brisbane, we were like, what is happening? That looks so delicious, and that is not in Yogyakarta. We were just exasperated. Stephanie.
Yeah, it looks like the very
That's amazing.
the original. So, Lena,
we're very lucky. We're very lucky here.
Lena, besides foodie, you are also a fashion influencer. So we would like to know, from your perspective, perhaps you could give us shed some light for us. What are you trying to position through Indonesian fashions? You know that we have batik and traditional clothes like kebaya and everything. How would you like to position this Indonesian fashion to Australians there?
I mean, we can, from the way we, style our outfits, we incorporate the Indonesian style and culture. It's just to introduce more that it's very, it's not just for special occasions, but we can actually incorporate it into our daily activities, like daily life. Like, it is very versatile. It's not only like a formal thing for batik, but you can always, give a little bit of a little spin that you can have it maybe like just a batik top with some jeans to sort of modernize it and to make it practical. And just incorporate the batik sort of patterns and like more practical dresses that you can wear daily. Because, the more you introduce the tradition, the more that you introduce the culture, people might, be willing to open their hearts more to it and even love it more.
Yeah. So you mean to say that finding a balance of putting together wearable contemporary attires with some ethnic elements to it?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, that's a beautiful concept too. So we're not entirely going to go full-blown ethnical, but it is something delicate, something that you can just admire from small elements of it, but it still represents a specific culture of Indonesia.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Very nice.
So what sort of spirit would you like to share with us all the way from Brisbane, Australia, Lena? As we all celebrate across the nations and across the globe, can you share with us the spirits that our friends and fellow diaspora over in Brisbane are sharing for this particular years of celebration?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just want to say, you know, like for this freedom that we have now, we did, so, you know, a lot of people struggled and fight for it. So we need to be really appreciative, and especially for this, on this special day, like you have to just be grateful. Be grateful for everything that you can do now. It's, you have the freedom, and you can, you know, just utilize the freedom to, just to spread goodness, to spread kindness, and just give the message that, you know, we all can get along, and just support each other when when you feel like you're far away from home. When you have that community, you stick together and you support each other, and that's how you can feel like you're home even though when you're not.
Oh, that is so beautiful to hear. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Lena. Just my final question to you. You mentioned a little bit about fight and how we have fought for our independence. It is something that is not given. It is something that we earned, the independence. And being a diaspora yourself, you must face a certain fight yourself, being you know, someone of another citizenship in another country. So what are your fights? What sort of challenges do you have to face on a daily basis that can sort of inspire us and inspire other Indonesians who would like to follow suit with what you do?
Well, you know what? I feel very lucky here in Australia. Like from the first time I arrived back in 2007. So I've been here for 15 years.
Wow.
I'm just so thankful that it's always like, I always feel welcome. Like from my own personal experience, I've never really felt like discriminated or that I have to really fight for any, you know. So I feel like Australian people, they don't just, you know, well, from my experience, they see people like from their own, you know, from our own behavior, our own character. It's not just like that. I haven't felt any stereotypes or have to like fight extra hard or anything like that.
Right. And the way we carry ourselves have earned us respect as well, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, exactly,
right.
exactly. If you're,
all right. So thank you so much for just giving us that sort of illumination, Lena. And you mentioned 15 years in Australia, masih bisa bahasa Indonesia.
Bisa dong, pasti nggak akan lupa. Cinta Indonesia selalu.
Oh man. So hopefully we get to see you someday in person and talk more on this, but that is all the time that we have. I'd like to thank our fellow diaspora in Brisbane, Australia, Lena Tupan Cooley, for such a wonderful conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So like what just Elena said, that we have to be grateful of what we have been so far, of what we have for now, right? For this Independence Day, that we have walked this far. Just like Lena, she's been in Australia for 15 years now, and then she still remembers and she still adores everything about Indonesia as well.
Right. So we've spoken to 2 diplomats, our ambassadors in Australia, and 1 diaspora, Indonesian diaspora in Australia from 3 locations. And from what they have told us, I concur with you. I have to go to Australia someday. It's beautiful.
You should.
So
that's
that's one in the bucket list. All right. So we're almost at the end of our segment for the special event of the 77th Indonesia's independence celebrations. And we will now take you all the way to Norway, where I believe it's going to be cold soon. I have a friend there, and she told me that once during a national disaster, winter can get all the way to -40 there. But Independence Day is summer, I believe. Let's see how bright it is in Oslo, Norway, and take a look at the festivities for Independence Day. Right, that is a quick glimpse of how beautiful Oslo is.
I've never been to Norway, to Oslo, but I believe that it must be like a very, very beautiful place there.
Yeah, I've been only in my dreams though, and from videos and pictures my friend sent me. So we cannot wait to speak to our diaspora there.
Yep.
Who do we have?
We have Carolina Mapusa in Oslo.
Hello,
Hello, Carolina.
Hello.
How are you?
So, Carolina, very quickly,
Hello, Indonesia.
Hello, very quickly, Carolina, are you in Oslo right now, and what time is it?
Right now it's like 15 to 10 in the morning.
Oh,
sorry, 15 to 10 in the morning.
Almost 10 a.m. then, so that's considerable time.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That looks like
5 times different.
Yeah, a lot of time difference. That looks like a beautiful morning there behind you. So please share with us, Carolina, what's the spirit of Indonesian Independence Day over in Oslo?
What can I say? It's like I've been living here in 27 years. When the child was small, we was very active to contribute for competition in the Indonesian embassy, and we get invited to taste Indonesian food. But things been different in the lately 2-3 years. My children getting grown up, and so I'm not so active in that anymore. So we always come to the embassy. We get invited. Like today is like for diplomatic. They invited for upacara bendera, and then for us like Indonesian people here, we invited for on Saturday for bazar for Indonesian food. Right. So they're selling like lots of from food and batik, and we meeting like many people from Indonesia that we haven't seen for a long time, because like everybody like split, living in different places in Norway.
Right. Being so far away from Indonesia, what is the reception of the Norwegian towards Indonesian culture in Oslo? If you can tell us, Carolina.
The first, like, it's not so many Indonesian people here in Norway, but it's like the most of Indonesian people live in Oslo. So we have like a small community, almost like everybody know each other. Like, so we have like gathering the 17th of August and Eid and Christmas. So, and some people is like more good at to keeping like Indonesian culture alive with arisan, pengajian, and something like that.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Since you mentioned that there,
and everybody always looking for 17th of August. It's like the big deal.
Looking forward to 17th.
It's like the people's party in Oslo to get together.
Yeah.
Since you
and
mentioned,
it's like a cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since you mentioned there is not a lot of Indonesians live there in Oslo, so so this is must be easier for you to also introduce Indonesian culture to Norway, the Norwegian people there. So we would like to know how excited they are every time you tell a story about Indonesia, and if there are a lot of people there have been to Indonesia.
Yes, people here also is like now traveling around. So like the discovery Indonesia is like more and more. Me personally, like I have like group of friends here in Norway. Like for them, it's very exotic where I come from. So I tell them about my country. I introduce them about the food. So it's like everybody like, oh, can we go to Indonesia with you? So like, and then this Indonesian embassy is very good actually to like lately make events in the downtown to have like this Indonesian kind of food festival.
Right.
So and then it's like COVID going on is kind of stopped, but I think they will doing it again in the future.
All right. All right, Carolina, as we all know, Norway, particularly Oslo, is one of the most, if not the most expensive city to live in. Meaning that if you tell your friends about Indonesia, did you tell them how cheap are prices in our country, and were they surprised by it?
It's one of the most expensive country in the world.
Yeah.
So when I tell like when Indonesian people coming here, especially like tourists or student, they like wow, outrageous price. But for me and the other Indonesian people here, like we get used to it because like the expenses of life is kind of balance what our income
With
is.
what you earn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a warning, probably a big warning, not a bit, a big warning for Indonesian people planning to visit Oslo anytime soon. Make sure your wallet is supporting you enough prior to your visit. Otherwise, you're gonna have to cut short your visit because you have to return home and make some more cash.
Yes, the first thing you should pay attention to when you visit Norway.
You know what? Indonesian people here, they have still like this Indonesian heart.
Okay.
So when you get in touch with them, it's like now it's internet and stuff, yeah. So you can just get in touch. And me, for example, and many other my friends, Indonesian people here, they are very welcoming.
All right, all right.
So you can choose what kind of vacation you want. You know someone, or you just try to hook up with someone. These Indonesian people here, I know they are very helpful.
All right.
And
So
like people like splitting in everywhere, in the west, in the north. I know some woman who's always like be there for their own like Indonesian friends.
all right. So, Carolina, just one last question. You mentioned that you've been living in Oslo for over 20 years now. So, my question to you, how much of an Indonesian are you still? And now that we are 77 years independent in our country, what does this independence mean to you at this point in time?
It's a big process for me, so it's a big deal. I mean, live in Norway now, it's 27 years actually, and I'm still Indonesian.
Right.
Not only still Indonesian in my heart, but my passport, like I'm still Indonesian citizen actually.
Very proud of
It's
that.
many like been changing to Norwegian, I'm still Indonesian. Like my language, my food, how introduced how Indonesian culture to my friends, my family here, my own kids, like they still like get it because I speak like Indonesian to my kids at home, and they understand my language, they understand my culture. So always like in my heart, like I'm Indonesian, even I'm living abroad in so many years.
All right.
And yeah, red and white, it's still in my heart.
Well, Carolina, what you said there, it just almost brings tears to my eyes. And we can only say that we are so proud of you being there for 27 years and still being so proud of being an Indonesian. So after 27 years, I'd like to test your Norse a little bit. I only know this one sentence. I don't know if you can understand me. I'd like to say, "Jij elsker deg."
Yeah, älskar Indonesia.
I love you. That's what it means in Norse.
Yes, I love you. And I will answer you back. I love Indonesia. Yeah,
yes, that's what you said back.
I speak fluently Norwegian, and I speak still very good Indonesian and Jakarta slang fluently.
All right. Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you very much, Carolina Mampusa, all the way from Oslo, Norway, for talking to us and making our special programs of Independence Day even much more lively with your stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I can share it with you all, guys.
Bye-bye.
Right. After Oslo,
Yeah.
we still have more stories actually from the other parts of the world.
Yes.
Now we will take the audience to fly to the
different countries
countries, to the Netherlands, to see, to the Netherlands and to see how beautiful it is or how exciting it is, the celebrations of Indonesia Independence Day, the 77th Independence Day.
Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Adisti. I was born in Bogor, Indonesia. 12 years ago, I moved abroad to Dubai, the UAE, to work. And there, I met my husband. 5 years ago, I moved to Netherlands because he's Dutch. And Kirana was born here, my daughter. So now she has two nationalities, Indonesian and Dutch. But ever since, I always speak Indonesian to her. So Kirana can speak very good Indonesian fluently. Before the pandemic, we always go to Indonesia. Once a year at least, and then obviously for the pandemic we couldn't go, but this year we managed to go in February, me and Kirana, to Indonesia, and we spent 3 weeks there. We spend our time with our family. There Kirana can learn and practice her Indonesian. Ever since she could talk, we always let her talk to her family in Indonesia via video call every single day. So Kirana is fluently speaking Indonesian and Dutch. Netherlands is also a home for more than 1 million Indonesian citizens, so we don't really feel homesick that we can find a lot of Indonesian food actually in this country. But having said that, of course we miss our families, and of course we also miss the vibe of Indonesian birthday celebration. Every year on the 17th of August, we always put up Indonesian flag in our house. I will show you in a bit. And Kirana also likes to have Indonesian flag on her step scooter. But this is not only for the Independence Day, but also every day. She just likes it. I think a few months ago, she asked me, and she started now at her age to ask questions about her root and her family. So she is very proud to be Indonesian and Dutch. Iya nggak sayang? Kirana orang apa?
Indonesia.
Dan? Yeah, she's very shy in front of the camera. However, we would like to say Happy Independence Day, Happy Birthday Indonesia. Dirgahayu Indonesiaku, jayalah selalu. Merdeka! Nah,
Iya.
Kenapa kamu pakai bendera Indonesia di situ?
Karena aku orang Indonesia dan Belanda.
Ya? Kamu bisa bahasa Indonesia? Iya.
Selamat
Terus sekarang kalau 17 Agustus diperingati sebagai hari? Iya, bilang apa? Kita udah pasang bendera merah putih.
Tadi pagi kita pasang bendera.
Mana benderanya?
Di situ.
Ya.
All right, Independence Day there in Amsterdam. So echoing what you said, when you're in Amsterdam, it's easy everywhere to find the so-called nasi goreng. So that's actually an Indonesian fried rice. So that's everywhere in the city, as you said. It's easy to find due to the over 350 years of colonizations here, colony here in the country. So thank you very much, Adistia from Amsterdam, for putting those videos together for us to give us an illustration of how that is Independence Day in the Netherlands.
that makes us even proud to be an Indonesian, right?
Exactly.
When we see how the celebrations is very great, celebrated in other countries, especially in the Netherlands, as you can see, as we can just see, right?
Right. So from the Netherlands, just close by, we move a little bit, still in the European Union, to Switzerland to see a video put together by our diaspora there to give us a sense of how it is celebrated, our Independence Day. Take a look.
Halo TVRI. Halo TVRI Indonesia. Selamat Hari Kemerdekaan untuk Indonesia yang ke-77. Semoga semakin sukses maju di segala penjuru dunia. Halo. Ya, untuk semua Indonesia.
Now from Switzerland, now let's move on to USA and let's have a look at the video of the celebrations of Independence Day, Indonesian Independence Day.
Guys, a little bit about me. I am Indonesian and I love the fact that I'm Indonesian, but kind of sad the fact that most people don't know anything about it. So I'm going around trying to teach Americans and fellow foreigners about Indonesian culture through music, entertainment, food, what have you. Okay guys, so it's the 17th of August today here in New York City and it's just a regular day. No big deal, right? But on the other side of the world, in Indonesia, it's Hari Merdekaan. It is our Independence Day. Indonesia, Selamat Hari Merdekaan. So, to commemorate, we're going to teach some Americans and some foreigners our song, 17 Agustus tahun 45. Alright guys, sounds fun, right? Let's go. Today is the Independence Day of Indonesia, and I'd like to introduce you guys to the Independence Day song. 17 Agustus tahun 45. You guys say that? 17 Agustus tahun 45. You say that? Let's cut it down. 17 Agustus tahun 45. 17 Agustus means like August. Agustus. 17 Agustus means. Alright. Tahun 45. Which means 1945. Itulah hari kemerdekaan kita. See that? Hari Merdeka, Nusa dan Bangsa. 17 Agustus tahun 45. Itulah hari kemerdekaan kita. Hari Merdeka, Nusa dan Bangsa. Hari lahirnya bangsa Indonesia.
Well, Stephanie, I can't believe that today I can say it. I finally witnessed Americans in New York singing lagu kemerdekaan. That's it. I've seen it today. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we have come to the end of our special report of the worldwide 77th Independence Day celebrations, and we've seen many stories. We've heard so many exciting activities also there around the world, and I feel now that I feel even proud to be Indonesians, Rahmat.
Exactly.
And I feel like, okay, through these stories, we hope that we can inspire even more nations around the world.
Right.
So thank you for watching our special report. I'm Stephanie Silitonga.
And I'm Rahmat Idris. This has been a wonderful 4 hours of the second segment of our special program for the 77th Indonesia's Independence Celebration right here on TVRI. Just coming up next, don't go anywhere. Our colleagues Aisyah Fabian and Narendra Pawaka will be with you, leading you through the final segment of our program with the nationwide celebration. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye. Thank you, darling. Can you believe...